What you should know about a homeowners association. Hey guys, my name is Sandy. I'm a licensed realtor and licensed loan originator here in the Central Florida area. Today I want to do a video for you on what you should know about the homeowners insurance, homeowners association, or HOA. Totally different from homeowners insurance. That is not what the video is about. So let's look into what's a homeowners association and how it affects you. All right, so let's jump into it. So homeowners association is normally having to do with a body of homes. So a community of homes or a development, or maybe a condo building, maybe a townhome development, or maybe an apartment complex. That's what's called homeowners. So the homeowners association governs this body of homes or condo or townhomes. Most of the time they're in gated communities or restricted communities, but if you're buying a home, you will know upfront if you're buying into a homeowners association. If the home is in a gated community, more than likely it will have a HOA. If you're buying a townhouse or a condo, more than likely it will have a HOA. Or if you're buying into a cooperative, like it's a co-op. Co-ops are not particularly popular in our area, but they do also exist. If you're buying a timeshare, that's also would be a part of the homeowners association. So the homeowners association is normally governed by homeowners. So when the development or the community is being built, the builder decides, okay, we want this to be a homeowners association community because we want to have some restrictions in how the home is conducted, how the exterior of the property looks, if it's gated, how the lawn will look, what colors we're going to want people to paint their homes in, that kind of stuff. So the builder decides on this. Once the builder finishes selling out the community, it gets turned over to the homeowners. And that's what formed the homeowners association. So you're going to have the president, a vice president. All these are going to be picked from different homeowners. So the president will be everybody on the board is an homeowner, but typically it consists of the president, the vice president, 2 official officers, a treasurer, and a secretary. So at least 6 people. Each HOA is going to be different. They may want more than 2 board of directors. They may want more than 2 secretaries based upon how large the community is and how available the secretary will be to take minutes at each HOA meeting. But that's what's governed. So this body, right, once they create the board of directors, meaning the president, vice president, all these people I just mentioned, they're going to then go by the covenant that was set forth by the builder when the builder initially built the subdivision or the area, whatever it is. So the builder is going to have certain covenants in there, and that's what's going to make up the HOA. So that's what the HOA actually is. It's a governing body that governs a particular subdivision or development or townhome area or condos, whatever it is. That's what the HOA is. So how do the HOA rules work? So the builder initially is going to create these covenants, right? They're going to have an attorney. They're going to sit down. They're going to create the covenants, and the covenants have to abide with the rules of the land, which means the rules that govern the state. The HOA cannot cannot make their own covenant or go against the rules of the state. That can't happen. So there's another governing body that governs all HOAs that we're not going to touch on right now, but just know that the HOA has got to report and comply with another HOA body that's going to be by the state. So in the HOA rules, they're going to put stuff like what colors you could paint your house if it's a home development, how your lawn should look. Your lawn can't have weed in it. It can't be outgrown. Can you have gutters? So it's always going to have to do with the exterior of the home when it comes to a house. If it's a townhome or a condo, it's going to have to do with what can be in the inside, right? So it's going to be like the pet restrictions. You can't have certain pets there. You can't do barbecuing on the balcony, right? Maybe you cannot have any storage on your patio, or you're limited to what you could store in your patio. Maybe you can't enclose your patio. Maybe you must enclose your patio. So those are the rules. And the governing body, which is the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, they go out to make sure that these are done. They do this by hiring a property management company. So each HO is going to have a property management company that runs the community for them. The property management company reports to the board, and then the board then tells the property management company what to do. So a member of the property management company will probably go through the neighborhood each month just to see if everybody is complying with what they're supposed to do. If they're not complying, they're going to send you a notice saying that you have 30 days to cure this problem. Whether it be your grass is overgrown, your home needs to be power washed, your driveway needs to be power washed, whatever it is, they're going to give you 30 days to comply. If you don't comply with this within 30 days, the next letter is probably going to be a fine. They're going to probably say, we'll give you 30 days, you didn't comply. Here's our second letter. If you don't comply within 15 days, then we're going to fine you. And the more that you do not comply, the more fines they're going to add onto your property, and then they could lien your property. So that's the first thing. You want to make sure you follow the rules. Secondly, if you don't pay your dues, each HOA is going to have a due, right? Something you pay per month, per quarter, semi-annually or annually. If you don't pay, they can take certain rights from you. If it's a gated community and you owe more than 2 months of your dues, if it's monthly dues, they might ban you from coming through the gate. They might take your access from the gate off. So these are things to consider when you're buying into a HOA, because you need to know what the rules are, and more importantly, the consequence of these rules. So it could be if you have your grass overgrown and you don't cut the grass, they're going to send you notice. If you don't keep doing that, they're going to send you a fine. If you don't comply, the more you do not comply, the more the fines are going to add up. So that's super duper important. So how do you find out about the HOA before you buy, right? Like if I'm buying the HOA and they have all these rules and all these restrictions, how do I find out? The owner of the property you're buying should have the HOA covenant, and you can ask to have that previewed before you buy a property, if it's a house. In the case of a townhome or a condo, you must get this 15 days after placing an offer. So 15 days after your offer is accepted, not placing an offer. So 15 days after your offer, up to 15 days after your offer is accepted, you must get the HOA covenant. You could read through all of it and make sure you agree with it. If you do not agree with it, you have the right to leave. Now I'm saying 15 days, but it varies by state and by area. So make sure you find out in your state how long once your offer is accepted, what is the time frame that you have to go through the covenants to decide if you want to buy or not buy. Same thing if you're buying a home, you need to have the HOA covenants. If it's too wordy, or because it's going to be a huge thing, like huge, big thing of different rules and regulations and all this stuff. If it's too much for you to understand, it's not a bad idea to hire an attorney before you buy, to have the attorney go over it with you and figure out what are you going to be doing and what you're not going to do, right? What are you agreeing to and what you're not agreeing to? Or you could call the HOA board, meaning they're going to have a property management company that works for the board. So you find out what the property management company is that manages that community. You're going to call them, and you find out from them things that you might want to know offhand, like, well, what are the color variation of the home? If I want to repaint my house, what options do I have? In the case of a townhome, are you covering the roof? Am I responsible for the roof? Am I responsible for the windows? What am I responsible for? Because in a townhome or a condo, most of the time the HOA is responsible for the roof. You're responsible for the windows. You need to make sure you find that out. What about decorations? Can I put up Christmas decorations? Can I not put those up? If my grass is overgrown, how long do I have to cure it? If we took over my grass, which I had no control over, we just kind of came and took it over. What do I need to do? What kind of lead time do I have to correct this? If my grass got burned, maybe during, like in Florida, we have a lot of drought season where for weeks we don't get rain, and sometimes the grass can be burned. What are the consequences? If there's a water restriction and I cannot water my lawn, and my lawn gets burned as a result of that, who is responsible for this? What is my lead time? So these are things you need to find out. If I wanted to add a pool, or pool allowed, sometimes some areas don't allow pools, or pool allowed, this is a big one. Can I fence my yard? If I want to get my yard fenced in, can I get it fenced in? A lot of times with HOAs if your HOA dues covers lawn maintenance, more than likely you won't be able to to put a gate around your backyard. You have to find that out. Some association may allow you to put the gate around your yard, but then you'd be responsible for your own lawn because they wouldn't be able to get through the gate. So all this you need to find out ahead of time. If I have a screened-in pool, am I allowed to have a screened-in pool? In some HOA, if the home backs up to a golf course, you cannot screen back there. You can't screen the pool. You can't screen the backyard. That's just not allowed in most golf communities. So these are things you need to find out ahead of time before you get involved and then get upset that you can't do certain things. A big thing is also garbage cans. Where are garbage cans stored? Are they stored in the garage? Can I build an enclosure outside with permission? These are things we need to find out way ahead of buying the home. That way we know what the HOA consists of. You need to find out, or you need to realize that each HOA is going to be different. So maybe you look at a bunch of homes and you put an offer in on one, but that didn't go through. So now you're put an offer on another home that's in another HOA. The same rule will apply, because not because it's in the same area or the same state means they're going to all have the same rules. They're going to differ. So that's what the HOA is. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions or want to dig more into this, send us a call or text us. Our number should be somewhere here, somewhere below. We do complimentary consultations all the time. But when it comes to HOA, the HOA rules, guys, that means if you owe your HOA dues, that is more important than your mortgage. Seriously. So more than likely, if you owe your HOA dues and you're still paying your mortgage, or if you have a mortgage on the property and the HOA contacts your bank, more than likely the bank will cover the HOA dues, because HOA dues and taxes supersedes in most states your mortgage, and the mortgage bank knows this. That's the reason why they encourage you to escrow your taxes, so they could make sure the taxes are paid. And in some cases, sometimes they want to escrow the HOAs because they want to make sure these two things are paid. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you on the next video.